Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Adrienne Montgomery. I'm with ERP VAR. I'm so pleased to be joined by Kent Richardson with Acumatica. Kent's the Director of Partner Enablement and has several years experience working with ERP software VARs such as yourself. And without any further delay, I'm going to go ahead and let Kent take it from here. Thank you so much, Kent.
Thank you, Adrienne. Hello, everybody. Kent Richardson with Acumatica. We're going to get started here, and we're going to go really fast today. I'm going to channel my inner country western music song. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there, and we're going to do what they say can't be done. We're going to get through all this content today. As soon as my slide advances. There we go. So before we begin, thank you. Thank you, Adrienne and ERP VAR for inviting us. We're truly grateful for the opportunity and always humbled to have the opportunity to speak to folks. Thanks to those that are interested in Acumatica. Those I haven't met before, those I've never spoken with, please don't hesitate to reach out to me afterwards if you got any questions or concerns, and we'll have a contact page also at the end if you're interested in becoming an Acumatica partner. I also want to thank some Acumatica partners that are out there that registered to come listen to me today. You knew what you're in for, and you still showed up. So Kimberly, Fitz, Gary, Scott, Mike, and a bunch of other folks from Acumatica, thanks a lot for coming here. Sure do appreciate it. Also, it's kind of been a while since I said this, and maybe that's negligent on my part, but we just got to keep remembering out there to be safe, be smart, and be well. And I hope our time together finds everybody out there safe and well and continuing to be so. Today's objective, for those that don't know and for those that do, I always like to have an objective on what we're going to be talking about. So here's today's objective, and I've added something to it this time, and that we are going to respectfully, productively, and passionately talk about some things that are going on in the world that we serve and that may drive you to some action, either to join Acumatica as a partner or make some changes in your organization on becoming a more successful VAR in the 21st century. And that's, I think, an important note. You guys are all very successful organizations. You have track records of producing results for your organization and for your customers. I'm not here to suggest that you need to drop everything you're doing, but I'm going to give you some ideas or some suggestions very enthusiastically on things that you might consider changing based on market conditions and challenges that we're all seeing today. So for those that have experienced this before, I did add passionately. So, and for those that are hearing me for the first time, this is what you get. As we were chatting offline before we got started, Kent basically has two speeds, on and off, and this is what you get. So if you want to talk to me again, you're going to get some more of this. I try to remember three things as I go through my day, and for those that aren't familiar, this is a gentleman by the name of Jim Valvano. Jim Valvano was a pretty famous American college basketball coach, and he gave a speech in 1993 that really led to a movement called the Jimmy V Foundation in battling cancer. And he said this message that kind of resonated with me then, and I've kept it to this day. And to me, there's three things that everyone should do every day. You got to laugh, and I hope you find a reason to laugh today. You have to think, and I hope I'm going to give you some things to think about today. I don't know if I'm going to move your emotions to tears. Maybe you're crying already because you decided to attend, but that's a heck of a day. If you go through those three emotions, and there is a great link out there on YouTube on his SB speech, and if you want to look at it, I highly recommend it. It's a good lesson in life, and it'll keep you really focused on what I think is really, really important. So today's agenda: how to become a successful VAR in the 21st century. Who's this guy yelling at me? What's changing, and what has changed really? Quick Acumatica review and reminder, and then what must we do differently? So these are the topics that, based on our internal conversations and conversations with Adrienne, we thought would really resonate with folks today. So, how to become a successful VAR in the 21st century. First, become an Acumatica partner. I hope you're laughing. That was one of the laugh parts there. So, but I do truly believe that if you're a partner and you're interested in solving customer problems, making money, sustaining your business, I do fundamentally believe there is no better place to be in the market we serve for the customers that we support than to be an Acumatica partner. The second thing is, quite candidly, guys, I think you need to consider changing everything that you're doing today. Not instantly. I say this all the time to the Acumatica partners that I enable, that I work with, that I've had the pleasure to get to know these 3 years I've been with Acumatica. Nobody is asking you to go to the wall, flip a switch, and start doing everything immediately differently tomorrow, but you need to consider making those changes. And I do fundamentally believe you need to consider changing almost everything that you're doing today if you are the traditional standard value-added reseller that I happen to talk to on a daily basis. If none of this applies to you because you don't want to, or you're so forward thinking, then great. This will just be a repetition of some things that you already know. So who's this guy yelling at me? All right, I've had the good fortune to be in this industry, for over 20 years. And I started my life as a partner. I started as a Great Plains partner in Bedford, New Hampshire, a group called the Taylor Group. For those of you that are in the Microsoft channel or we're in the Great Plains channel, you may have heard of us. We were famous for integration manager. We were a very successful Great Plains partner. So I've walked a mile in your shoes. I understand what the expectations are and what the challenges are of working with a publisher. I've always been in the channel. I've always worked with partners as either a channel manager, a partner account manager, a strategic alliance manager, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And when my old boss, Jeff Ashley at SAP, raised his hand and said, hey, Kent, we're building an enablement program here at Acumatica to help partners migrate to the changes, be successful, do some coaching, do some teaching. I said, sign me up. So that's how I got here today. I do have extensive sales and pre-sales experience. I've demonstrated product before. I had the great honor, privilege, and pleasure of being a commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps. I'm a fly fisherman, and I am a grandpa. For those of you that were looking for a new picture of Hayes, here's my grandson, Hayes. There is a chance that he may knock on the door today, and I will beg your indulgences if he does, and he may even say hello. Nana B, or the lovely and gracious Pastor Beth, is supposed to be keeping him occupied, but who knows what's going to happen. So there is no doubt COVID-19 will have a lasting impact on our lives and our businesses. The new normal is now the next normal. Enterprise resiliency is critical for you and your customers. The distributed and/or remote workforce is here to stay, and the need to embrace, develop, and deploy a digital transformation for your customers and prospects will accelerate even faster. I think we would all go back in time to January of this year, and if we could erase COVID-19 from the map, we would all do it, personally and professionally. However, we have to accept the fact that it's here, it's not going anywhere, and it has impacted our businesses and will impact our businesses now and forever always. And I believe these bulleted, highlighted items are what we really need to focus on. So I always struggle with this. Every time I give a webinar to an existing partner or I talk to somebody, this concept of COVID-19 creating opportunities is challenging. I mean, nobody likes to think that this terrible thing that we're going through is creating positive opportunities for us, but in reality, it is. And I channel my inner Albert Einstein, and it says, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Winston Churchill, a pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. I am an eternal optimist. I am a glass is half full and I like what's in it kind of guy. I think we have a unique opportunity right now for us to help our customers and prospects thrive and survive. I get it, guys. COVID-19 has been challenging. And I'm not going to suggest that the impact of COVID-19 is just an excuse, because it's not. But I see a lot of people and I hear a lot of people making excuses. Well, COVID-19's been really hard. It's disrupted our business. Well, I'm here to tell you that COVID-19 has impacted Acumatica as well. But because of what we are and what we do and who we are and how we do it, our business is doing very well. Customers want what Acumatica is bringing to the market. More importantly, customers want what our partners are bringing to the world. And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So, like I said, I believe we have a responsibility. and an opportunity that we need to sit with our customers, sit with our prospects, and help them develop a strategy, a platform, a solution set, and outcomes that are going to help them survive and thrive in the next normal of the 21st century. If you take away anything from today's time together, I believe if you walk out of the webinar today with this concept of, hey, look, I don't like it, it's no fun, these are challenging, but I'm going to sit with my customers, I'm going to sit with my business, and we're going to figure out a way to survive and thrive in the next normal of the 21st century, then I will consider time well spent today for all of us. So accelerating changes and challenges in the market we serve. If you think things were moving fast pre-COVID-19, this is a jump to hyperspace. Everything that we're going to talk about, everything that we have been talking about, the move to the cloud, the move to a digital transformation, the ability to change who we are as a value-added reseller. What we used to be, 1,000 million years ago when I was a value-added reseller, my job was to physically receive the software in a shrink-wrap box from the publisher. In this place, it was Doug Burgum in Great Plains, and I would physically drive it on site to my customer. I would load it into the magic cup holder of their server, hit run, and start configuring their software. That was incredibly valuable to my customers. Nowadays, I send a URL in an email, and they click on it, and they have access to the software. So my value of unboxing and installing software as a partner is not as high as it used to be. So there's some different values that we need to bring to the marketplace, and it's only going to go faster. So I had the good fortune, and I go back to this all the time, and I go back to this specific gentleman, Bob Anderson of Gartner, all the time. And I think about this event we had at ITA where this team of rivals sat on stage in front of an audience. We talked about what's happening in our marketplace. And my friend and mentor, Bob Anderson of Gartner, has given me permission to share this next slide with all of my partners and anybody who's interested. So I do regularly, and I go back to it and challenge it on a host of different opportunities and times to make sure they're still valid. And I'm going to share that slide with you right now. This stuff was happening before COVID-19, and it's happening even faster now. And these are customer demands that we need to be aware of as a partner. The first one is this concept of instant availability everywhere on anything, okay? I'm not going to read all of these bullet points for you, but there's another one in here called a digital business platform, okay? There has to be a platform in your software solution that allows it to be extended. It allows for competitive advantages to be built. There's a great Harvard Business Review article called Finding the Platform in Your Product. If anybody wants these slides, let me know, raise your hand, I'll send them to you. That's actually a hyperlink which will take you to the article. It's a great read on what needs to be in there. It's like the Acumatica XRP platform, the Salesforce Force.com platform. QuickBooks has a platform. You have to find that platform in your product. There's got to be consumer level simplicity. They want access over ownership. The last item here is something that we're going to talk a lot about today, and it's this concept of success measured by outcomes. You as a partner, you as a value-added reseller, your value needs to be centered around producing the outcomes that your customers demand. Again, if I'm going to be a successful 21st century VAR, I've got to focus in on outcomes. I've got to use the technology I've invested in to produce outcomes, measurable economic impact outcomes for our customers. And that leads to what Bob says, what VARs must do for their customers to stay relevant. If you look on top of that blue line, you have to innovate for your customers. You need to sit with your customers and talk about the new business models they're going to create, how you're going to get them to market faster, what competitive advantages can you help them develop in the markets that they serve. And oh, by the way, below that blue line, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to deliver those best practices in the industry they represent. You're going to have to deliver the optimized processes that they require. And you know what? You're going to have to do it cheaper and faster than you've ever done it before. This slide right here is everything that your customers are looking for. And quite candidly, it's not what many of our partners are prepared to deliver. There are many, many partners that are still stuck in the old model of becoming an expert on the software, implementing the software, and moving on to the next customer. You have to have a different definition of value in the 21st century. You should see me in the morning after I've had my second or third cup of coffee. You're supposed to laugh at that as well. So you got to remember that our customers are busy surviving day to day, okay? It's not their job to know what they want. Just like we're faced every day with COVID-19 challenges, they're faced every day with COVID-19 challenges. They don't have time to be thinking about the new technology. Some of them are, but a lot of them are people just trying to keep their head above water. They're thrashing about wildly, treading water. It's your job to walk through the door and tell them, hey guys, I can help you. This is what you need. I tell the partners that I work with all the time that you need to be confident but not arrogant. You need to confidently tell them that this is the direction we need to head. That's what they're looking for. That's who you need to be in the 21st century. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time now talking about Acumatica proper, Acumatica the company. Kind of a quick review and reminder for those partners that are already Acumatica partners and for those people that have already spoken to the Acumatica recruiting team. I'm going to put my spin on who Acumatica is and why we're a little bit different. So first of all, Acumatica is 100% partner driven. For those that don't know this, the only way you can purchase the Acumatica platform and technology and solution and additions is through a partner. You cannot buy it direct from Acumatica. There is no plan B, says John Roskell, our CEO. He gets asked this question all the time. Hey, John, when are you guys going to start selling direct? And John will look that partner in the eye and say, hey, guys, there is no plan B. If our partners aren't successful, we're not successful. This is our go-to-market strategy. And again, this is a hand-in-glove fit for Kent because I absolutely positively believe this is the right way to go to market. No publisher on the planet can be all things to all customers. Every publisher, I believe, needs partners to take that customer the last mile, to have that intimate relationship with the customer, to be there when that customer needs them. I can't do everything. No publisher can. So I put these slides out here to kind of remind people that this concept of the new and next normal is not happening in the vacuum. Now, these slides are a little bit old. They're back from April, but what has happened with COVID-19 is most publicly traded software companies have seen their stock price go on a roller coaster ride. In fact, I looked up SAP yesterday and Oracle yesterday. They're down again. So they're still challenged with their investors on how they're going to be successful and profitable from a stock price. The UK wasn't spared, so all of you that are out there with Sage, they're having the same challenges economically as every other publicly traded publisher. Now, again, I'm going to go back to what I said just a few minutes ago. Acumatica, when COVID-19, in the middle of Q1 was really starting to hit on everybody's shores, we went back and took a look at maybe we should be a little bit less aggressive in our forecasts. We are still significantly over our prior year performance. And I will tell you, from a new partner perspective and from an enablement perspective, our new partners are overachieving the original number that we put out there in January of 2020, pre-COVID-19. We had an expectation of how many opportunities and transactions our new Acumatica partners were going to produce for Acumatica, and we are overachieving that original number, let alone the quote revised COVID-19 number. So what does this stock price really mean to partners that are in the marketplace? Well, I'll tell you what it means, that these publishers are going to kick you out the door. We're seeing it all day, every day. We see it from Oracle NetSuite, where partners are being told, we had that prospect in our pipeline already, so we're going to take that deal direct, and we're going to keep all the money for ourselves. If you would like to have the services number, we'll give you some of that services number. But you know what? If you're not happy with that, we'll take our blended rate with our offshore resources, and we'll make it compete with that. And we're seeing it with Oracle NetSuite. We're seeing it with Sage. We're seeing it with Microsoft. We're seeing it with SAP. All of those publicly traded software publishers have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. And when it comes down to stock price versus partner, guess what? You lose. Acumatica, for one thing, isn't publicly traded, and we don't have the option of going direct. So we're not going to kick you out the door. We're going to be inviting you to walk through the door. In fact, we're requiring you to ask us to come through the door. So again, I remind you, Acumatica is 100% partner driven. In other words, we're not going to poach your subscription revenue to boost our share price. There is no plan B. John Roskell, Acumatica CEO. All right, moving along. So if we are in the starting gate for the next normal, which is here today, in fact, it's probably began in Q1 and Q2 of this year, I'm going to go ahead and congratulate those people that have already chosen Acumatica. Hey, you guys have really picked a winner. And for those of you that are here today showing some interest in Acumatica, I'm going to tell you, if you come on board with Acumatica and we both agree that it's the right thing for both of our organizations to do, you have picked a winner. And I do believe you are going to be very successful if you put your mind to it. Now, let's be real here, guys. There is no, quote, fee to become an Acumatica partner, but you're going to spend a lot of time and we're going to put a lot of your talent, which is going to be some of your treasure, into building an Acumatica practice. So don't think for a second, because there is no fee, that you aren't going to have to pay your dues to be successful with Acumatica. But if you choose to do so, you will be successful with Acumatica. All right. Allow me very humbly to go through some slides here that speak to the success that Acumatica is experiencing in the marketplace. And I want to note for the record that our success is really twofold. Yes, Acumatica builds a really strong technology solution. We have a great platform, we have industry-leading functionality, we're a tightly integrated suite of business management solutions, but none of that happens unless our partners can deliver satisfied customers to the marketplace. So when we hear things like IDC saying that Acumatica is a leader in mid-market cloud ERP, that's because of two things. One, Acumatica is really good, but almost as importantly, if not more importantly, our partners are really good at what they do. And they're producing very satisfied customers in the marketplace. So again, it's taken us 12 years, but IDC now ranks Acumatica above Oracle NetSuite in the market we serve. That's a great testament to our partners and to Acumatica. Okay, this is important as well, that Nucleus Research talks about the usability of technology solutions that are in the marketplace, okay? Now, usability is adoption or adaptability. One of the biggest concerns that customers have when they purchase a new technology solution is, are my employees going to use it? Will they embrace it, or is it going to be the proverbial shelfware? Well, Acumatica spends a lot of time making sure that our software, our user interface, our business processes are very usable, okay? And Nucleus Research goes out and surveys customers, and Acumatica is ranked highest in usability for the software, for the solution that we take to market. This is another one that we point to with some regularity. This is a group called Software Reviews. This is a completely, agnostic organization that goes to market, picks up the phone and says, hey, Kent, Software Reviews here. What technology are you using? Oh, you're using that? Well, what do you think about it? And how do you rate it, this, and this? Okay, so they don't call just Acumatica customers or just Oracle NetSuite customers. They call customers and they ask them, what are you using? And oh, by the way, at the end of the day, Acumatica comes out on top. No, it doesn't, Kent. Oracle ERP Cloud comes on top. If you look at the legend down on the bottom there, Oracle ERP Cloud is listed as an outlier. There wasn't enough data to support putting them anywhere on the grid, so they're listed as an outlier. We are a champion of user sentiment when it comes to how happy customers are with Acumatica. And again, thanks to our partners, this is the result that we get. And again, a couple other awards, PC Editor's Choice, Cody Awards for manufacturing and cloud ERP software. Gartner thinks highly of us. Again, if you come on board with Acumatica, you're coming to a very safe, very stable, fast-growing company. So again, if you want this slide deck, I'll give it to you. I'm not going to go through all these things, but we're certainly very proud of what we've been able to accomplish at Acumatica, and we're certainly very grateful and proud of what our partners have been able to accomplish and what our customers have been able to accomplish. A couple of customer comments here. I'm not going to read all of these either, but I draw your attention to the second from the bottom. Poor Liz Palmer and Palmer Food Services. First, they got slammed by tornadoes during tornado season in Tennessee, and then COVID-19 hit. But what I like about what Liz Palmer has to say is, hey guys, we're a family-run business, but we now have technology that is superior to the national brands, which is giving us that competitive advantage in the markets that we serve. Incredibly powerful statement from Liz Palmer and Palmer Food Services. Okay, so deep breath. So you're probably saying, all right, Ken, I get it. You know, COVID-19's here to stay. It's the next normal. I get it. Acumatica seems like a really interesting place to be. But tell me, why are customers choosing Acumatica? Okay, it's all great and well that analysts think highly of Acumatica, and it's all great and well that Ken certainly thinks highly of Acumatica, but why do customers choose Acumatica? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. The first is this concept of anywhere, anytime, any device. Now, I know this is kind of table stakes in the cloud world, right? This is how we work today. We all look at our smartphone in the first thing in the morning when we wake up, and the last thing at night before we go to bed. Now, I will tell you, don't be looking at your phone right before you go to bed, because they say if you're looking at a blue screen before you go to bed, you got to stop that 30 to 45 minutes, or you're not going to be able to get a good night's sleep. So write that down so you get a better night's sleep. But anyway, so this concept of Acumatica can follow me wherever I go. If I have to leave work early to go to a doctor appointment, if I'm standing in line for early voting, whatever it might be, my Acumatica follows me anywhere. I can approve purchase orders. I can see my dashboard. I can take a picture of an expense receipt. It does on any device, on any browser. So your Android, your iPhone, whatever it might be, your tablet, it takes you anywhere you want to go. There's a great YouTube video out there where the chief technology officer of Allegra, or Amazon, I guess I can say, does a cool thing on, tell me how much product I have in inventory. So again, anytime, anywhere, any device. The second reason is that Acumatica empowers the connected cloud. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, look, your customers are investing in other cloud technologies. I don't care if it's Office 365 or Avalara or DocuSign or Salesforce, or they've got BigCommerce, HubSpot, Shopify, whatever it might be. They've all got a whole bunch of cloud applications out there. And you know what? If they're going to invest in a central nervous system, that's a shout out to you, Fitz, okay, a central nervous system business management solution like Acumatica, all of those other cloud things have to connect to that. So our technology, our open architecture, our API layer allows for rapid and easy integration to those other cloud solutions that your customer is investing in. We empower the connected cloud. Now we really start to separate Acumatica from the day-to-day pretenders in the marketplace. There's a concept out there that the analysts talk about, which is cloud portability, the ability to put your workload in the cloud platform of your choice. Now, I will tell you that well above 90% of Acumatica solution choose the Acumatica cloud or public cloud that runs on Amazon Web Services infrastructure. Okay, that comes with your geo redundancy, your disaster recovery, all that good stuff. That's what the vast majority of Acumatica customers choose. However, if your customer says, I don't want to run on Amazon, I want to run on the Google Cloud, I want to run on Azure, or I have a local data center provider that runs some of my other managed services options and opportunities, can I put my Acumatica in that private cloud? Well, Acumatica allows for that to happen. We allow them to put that workload wherever they want. We even offer, and I'm even hesitant to say this, but a very, very small percentage of our customers, because they don't have consistent access to the internet or they're just stuck in the mud, that they say, gee, Kent, can we buy it on premise in a traditional perpetual license? Yes, you can do that, but it is a minuscule and shrinking component of our customer base. But if you want to put it in a public cloud, the Amazon cloud, the Acumatica cloud, you can do that. If you want to put it in the cloud of your choosing, you can do that. Incredibly powerful for your customers. It helps them future-proof their business. Let's say I'm a distributor and I sign a big contract with the Department of Defense here in the United States. Well, the Department of Defense is going to say, hey, you know what? You need to be in an ITAR cloud, International Tariff and something, where, you got to make sure you're not doing business with the bad people in the world. If you don't have an ITAR cloud, you can't do business with the DoD. Well, Acumatica could go in the ITAR cloud. Really, really important. It's also really important from a sales perspective. Let's say you get really fired up after talking to Ken, and you go out and talk to one of your customers who happens to be running a legacy on-premise Sage or Microsoft solution, and you say to them, hey, I found out about this really cool solution called Acumatica, and it runs in the cloud. And that customer says, man, I wish you'd have called me last week, because we just signed a 24-month contract to put our Microsoft Great Plains, Navision, Solomon, whatever, in a local data center. That's okay. You could put Acumatica in that local data center. So they can still leverage that agreement they just signed. And when Acumatica gets up and running, then you know what? You can pull the Microsoft stuff out of there, and they can continue to run in that data center of your choice. So you're not locked out of opportunities with people that have signed agreements for on-premise opportunities in a private cloud. The last and probably most important thing as it relates to what's going on in the world today is this concept of modern, growth-friendly, non-user-based licensing. What do you mean by that, Ken? Well, we don't sell user licenses. That's exactly what I mean by that. We fundamentally believe, before I build out this slide, that Acumatica and our partners believe that every employee within the company should contribute to and benefit from the investment and technology solution that the customer is buying. We don't want them to have to make the Sophie's choice of, look, I got 10 people in accounting and you seem like a nice guy, Ken, but I can't afford a license for you. So I'm just going to buy 5 licenses and we're going to share. Well, we can't do that anymore because now everybody's working from home, but it also sends the wrong message. It's a role-based, security-based solution, so not everybody has the same rights and privileges, but we fundamentally believe that every employee should benefit from and contribute to the solution. No per user fees. It extends to key partners and customers. What do we mean by that? Well, let's say you've got 1,000 customers and you wanted to license the Acumatica portal technology, and you wanted all of those 1,000 customers to be able to look into Acumatica to see the status of an order or the status of an invoice. But you know what? You don't have to buy 1,000 read-only licenses. You don't have to buy 1,000, light user licenses. No, you buy the portal, and every single one of your customers and/or partners can look into the Acumatica system and see what they need to see. So how do we do this? Okay, we do this based on infrastructure. So we're going to sit with you, and we're going to sit with your customer, and we're going to take some measurements around transactions and data usage, and we're going to come up with an idea of the size of infrastructure that we need to deploy on your behalf. So you basically license and price from Acumatica the functionality that you need and the infrastructure you're going to consume. It's a much longer conversation, but I will tell you this: our partners are responding incredibly favorably to it. Our customers are responding incredibly favorably to it because they don't have to make those difficult decisions, especially in today's world of COVID-19, where everybody is working remotely. So going through them just again, really, really quickly. So Acumatica was born in the cloud. Every single line of code, every business process we have was built to be delivered in the cloud and consumed in the cloud. There is none of this, well, shoot, I'm running, Microsoft Navision today, or I'm running Microsoft Great Plains today, I'm running Microsoft Solomon today, and I want to get to their cloud solution. What functionality is going to make it from point A through point B to point C? Okay, you don't know. So there is some risk there. Well, in Acumatica land, there is no risk. There is no on-premise, outdated legacy solution that needs to be massaged, morphed, or manipulated into the cloud. It was born in the cloud. We talked about this anytime, anywhere, any device. We talked about the connected cloud. We talked about the flexible deployment options. I remind all of our partners that these are incredibly important things, but I also remind them that these are your talking points. This is not something that you put in front of the customer, you put the more traditional slides. But I include this in this presentation because you need to know the notes or the language that's behind it. And then we talked about the most important fundamental differentiator, this unlimited users based on consumption. Think about it, guys. I'm not going to read this whole slide, but this goes back to, how are you talking to your customers today? If you're a Sage customer, if you're a Microsoft customer, and now everybody's working from home, you are faced with the challenge of, how many more licenses do I have to buy? What kind of Citrix server do I have to get? What sort of virtual private network am I going to have? How am I going to make this happen? And how much money do I have to spend to make it happen? You as an Acumatica partner have a reason to call each and every one of your customers. You can solve a problem that they are experiencing today. So it's not enough, guys, to be in the cloud, okay? You have to figure out which cloud do I want to be in. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about just a couple of seconds ago, okay? We're blessed to have a partnership with Amazon Web Services, and Gartner ranks Amazon Web Services as the top cloud infrastructure provider. Please look where our primary competitor, Oracle NetSuite, resides as a niche player. And please remember that Oracle NetSuite can only run in an Oracle NetSuite data center. You cannot put Oracle in Amazon. You cannot put Oracle in Google. It has to be in an Oracle data center. So if I'm an Oracle NetSuite sales rep and I just found out that my Microsoft customer just signed a 24-month agreement with a private cloud provider, I now have to convince that customer that not only do they have to continue to pay that private cloud provider, they're going to have to pay for that Oracle NetSuite cloud as well. So it's not enough to be in the cloud. You have to be in the right cloud. You have to bet your business in the right place. This is publicly available information. I'm a big Twitter guy. My kids are gone. I'm an empty nester. I'm kind of a sales nerd. So I follow my primary competitors as well as Acumatica on Twitter. This is from the @NetSuite site. This goes back to March of this year. They were down for 5 days in the month of March. Okay. So I love the guy, David Smith, on the right. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Famous line from the movie Sandlot. Okay, again, publicly traded information here. This isn't confidential. This is available on Twitter. I love my man, Stephen Mulek. 316, NetSuite commits to support their customers. 319, NetSuite is down. 325, NetSuite is down. I feel very supportive. They were down more in the month of March than we've been down ever. Again, it's not just being in the cloud. You have to be in the right cloud with the right partner. All right, Kent. So that tells me a little bit about, okay, I get it, COVID-19 and Acumatica is the right place to be, but you said I need to think about doing some things differently. So what's the first thing, Kent, you think I should do differently? Well, I tell this to my Acumatica partners. I'm going to tell this to anybody that's on the webinar today, is that you need to call and begin to transition your existing customers. Now, 3 years ago when we started this conversation, pre-COVID-19, it was going to be a transition of moving your install base into something like an Acumatica. I'm going to tell you guys, the time for transition is over. You need to start aggressively going out to your install base and introducing them the concept of Acumatica, the cloud, to help them thrive and survive in the next normal. But Kent, if I call them, I hear this all the time, Kent, if I call them and I introduce Acumatica, then they're going to tell me, if I'm going to look at Acumatica, I'm going to have to look at Oracle NetSuite, I'm going to have to look at Intact, I'm going to have to look at Infor, I'm going to have to look at other cloud solutions. And partners are afraid that if they get into that conversation with their customers, they're going to lose them. That's a sad way to go through life, friends. Do not be afraid. Be confident in the relationship with you have your customers. You have a responsibility, I believe, to introduce the platform, the technology, and the solution that's going to help them. You cannot just continue to accept maintenance checks and the add-on professional services, engagements that you do with them throughout the year. You're gonna lose them. You're gonna lose them, guys. You need to have that conversation with them sooner rather than later. So trust me, this is your customer today and every day. This is your customer. I'm pointing at the screen emphatically with my finger. This is your customer. They're getting bombarded with all the same things we are, and they're trying to process that information. And not only do they have all of these internal challenges, but you know what? They're getting high pressure sales These direct publishers, Microsoft, Sage, Oracle, NetSuite, SAP, Infor, they are all marketing directly to your customer. You know that. Don't be afraid of it, okay? They're getting pressure to buy now. Get off your Stage 100. Come to Intact. Buy now. In fact, we'll kick the partner out the door. We'll reduce the price by the amount of partner margin we usually have to pay. We'll make it really attractive for you to do that. Trust me, I'm not like the others. You can trust me. You know, this is what your customers are going through all day, every day. What they're looking for is for you to walk through the door and be this. They know you. They like you. They've purchased from you before. Get on a Zoom call. Get on a webinar. If you can, socially distance and appropriately sit down with them. Present yourself as the problem solvers that you are, the trusted business advisors that you've earned. You have to look like this in the mind's eye of your customer. You have to. Okay, what's the second thing I need to do differently, Ken? Okay, stand by, guys. If you are viewed in the market primarily as an exceller, primarily as a reseller, an Acumatica reseller, or even a Sage reseller, or a Microsoft reseller, or an Oracle NetSuite reseller, you are doing it wrong. You have commoditized yourself. If that's all you are, if your website says ABC company and you've got a drop-down list of solutions that you provide, I sell Sage, I sell Oracle NetSuite, I sell Microsoft, I sell Acumatica, you are doing it wrong. You've commoditized yourself. Okay, if I'm doing it wrong, Ken, what do I need to do? Well, like we were talking about, what you have done is you've turned yourself into a commodity. Okay, I tell this to my partners all the time. If you count them up here, I think there's 27 cell phone providers in the United States. How do people choose their cell phone plans? Either by the spokesperson, okay, or the phone that they offer, but primarily on price. We need to decommoditize ourselves. Absolutely, positively. I'm a big Calvin and Hobbes guy. We slapped ourselves in the head. We have turned ourselves into commodities. You can buy Acumatica from company A, company B, company C. You can buy an implementation of the software for X many hours at X dollars per rate or X dollars per hour. That is price. We have to step away from being a commodity, and I'm going to help you engage in a conversation or at least a thought process on how I can do that. We have to face some hard facts. I was talking to a partner earlier this week, and I said, what kind of car do you drive? And she said, well, I drive a Honda CRV. I said, well, then you looked at the RAV4, you looked at Subaru, and you looked at the Ford Escape. She says, yeah, I absolutely positively looked at those. Well, guess what? These things are within 1.8% of each other from a price perspective. So how do you choose? Color? Ride? Guys, we have commoditized ourselves. We do not want to be car salesmen. We do not want to be cell phone plan salespeople. We have earned the right to be something better than that. You have the business experience and expertise to be something better than that. So this is what we've done. Partners that are on the call here today have seen this before. This is what we've coached and trained our customers to do. Every time we talk to a customer, they have a spreadsheet that looks just like this, and they have 3 vendors they're looking at: Acumatica, vendor B, and vendor C. And of course, everybody's mind is going right to the Acumatica column. They're saying, oh gosh, Acumatica is the most expensive. Ooh, I can't sell Acumatica, it's the most expensive. No, I'm going to say that's the risk or challenge we face every time, because you know what? Vendor B is Oracle NetSuite, and they've decided to sell direct. So they've immediately carved 40% out of the price of the software because they don't have to pay a partner. Vendor C is Microsoft. They've done the same thing. Okay, so yeah, right out of the gate, we might be more expensive because we have a partner in this deal, and we want to pay our partners. But we all do a corporate presentation, we all do a product demonstration, we all do an implementation estimate, we all do the same thing. And I'm telling my partners, guys, if you leave it up to the customer, they're going to choose it on price. So you need to add some unique value propositions that nobody else can do. Unlimited users, anytime, anywhere, any device, the connected cloud, flexible deployment. But more importantly, you guys have to start drilling into the outcomes that your organization can provide. I have some news for you. No one cares. It's not that no one cares what I'm talking about. I think a lot of people, and I've had some great conversations with our partners, and I'm so fortunate that so many of our partners have such open minds and and have been interested in really executing some of the strategies and tactics we've been talking about, and have experienced a great deal of success with some of the things that we're talking about. But I'm here to tell you that no one cares. No one cares how well you know or can demo the product. No one cares. Okay? You could be the best demo jockey of Acumatica on the planet. No one cares. What they care is, what prospects only care about is how their employees will use the product to make more money or save more money. So how many times do you give a product demonstration where you actually say, I'm going to demonstrate you this, and the outcome our customers receive is that, and you measure it this way from an economic impact standpoint? We got too many people that know how to demo the product. Oh, this is how we did it in Great Plains. This is how we did it in Solomon. This is how you do it in Acumatica. Nobody cares how a reversing journal transaction is processed. I see too many partners. You know who you are. You're on the call today, some of you on your Twitter feeds. Come join us for an Acumatica webinar and learn how Acumatica can do this. It's not what Acumatica can do, it's the outcome you as a partner and Acumatica can produce for your customers. No one cares what you like about. Can't spell about. No one cares what you like about the product. Must be from Canada, a book. Okay, no one cares what you like about the product. What they care about is what prospects and customers like about the product. If you're giving a demo and you say, what I really like in Acumatica is this, nobody cares. You need to change what you're doing. You need to talk about our customers that are using Acumatica really like this, really benefit in this way, have produced these tangible results. We're not doing it today, guys. We're feature function people. Remember this nice person? All she cares about is the right part of that screen, which is the outcomes of the solution she has invested in. That's all she cares about. If you aren't demonstrating to the outcomes, if you don't understand the outcome she's looking for, and your whole presentation isn't designed, your whole product demonstration isn't designed to prove out that you can deliver those outcomes, you are a commodity. You are just a feature function demo jockey, and you're being graded against everybody else. And at the end of the day, they're going to make a decision on price. Change how you do it starting today. Okay, if I'm not an Acumatica reseller, what am I? You are an absolute fill-in-the-blank expert that produces these positive economic outcomes for the customers in the fill-in-the-blank industry you support. You need to come up with the Partner XYZ inventory assistance solution as powered by Acumatica. Your website needs to say, Partner XYZ can produce this result, and you know what? It happens to be powered by Acumatica. That's what customers are looking for. Go way, way back to when we first met each other 45 minutes ago, and we talked about outcomes. What do customers demand? What are they looking for? They're looking for outcomes. You need to market yourself and go to market as an organization that produces outcomes. It just so happens that the technology you've chosen to deliver those outcomes, in this case, is Acumatica. And it has those unlimited users. It has that flexible deployment. It has that connected cloud. It has that born in the cloud. It has the tightly integrated business suite of business management solutions. That's what Acumatica has, but it produces the results that your customers are looking for. So on the Acumatica Partner Portal, we have this great total economic impact of Acumatica. I think every partner here better know where this is. And if you're a new partner, you're going to have access to this. Please, please, please stop selling accounting software. We sell business management software. I don't care what you're selling. Okay, if you are selling Microsoft, you're selling Sage, you're selling Oracle, we don't sell accounting software. We don't even sell ERP software. We sell business management software. This is a blog that we've written on the Acumatica website. Okay, some sales suggestions. Guys, I'm a big Stephen Covey fan. I'm a big 7 Habits of Highly Effective People fan. There are 2 habits you need to drill into, and those of you that have heard this before know what's coming. It is seek first to understand, then be understood, and begin with the end in mind. Every time you talk to a prospect, you need to ask them, why are you doing this, and how will you measure the success at the end of this project? What economic impact are you going to have? If you don't understand that and you're just showing up because somebody said, yeah, I think we need a new system, that's not good enough. You're going to be just like everybody else, and you're going to win some and you're going to lose some, and you're going to be judged on price. You have to understand why they're doing this. You have to make them tell you why they're doing this. Don't take the easy way out. I also encourage people, because I'm a huge sales nerd, to go out and buy the book, The Challenger Sales Model. The Challenger Sales Model is exactly that. You walk through the door confidently, not arrogantly, and you say to your customer, hey guys, every single customer in your industry that I've talked to has these 5 challenges. Would you agree? Would you force rank them for me? Let's talk about those. Let's talk about how you're going to measure them. And then I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to sell to those, and I'm going to demonstrate to those, because that's what they're going to buy. Every partner that I talk to and I do this quiz, I say, if you're going to hire a salesperson and you're going to be a successful sales organization, what do you want to be? Well, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because we've already talked about Challenger. But every partner says, I want the relationship builder. I want people to like Kent. I want him to be very friendly and very approachable. Well, as you can tell, I'm pretty friendly and I'm pretty approachable, but I'm also very challenging. My wife thinks I'm very challenging. Pretty much everybody thinks I'm very challenging. My partners think I'm very challenging, but I hope in a good way. Or they say they want the hard worker or the problem solver. They'll even settle for the lone wolf. You know, Kent's kind of a pain in the ass, as the lovely and gracious Pastor Beth would say, but you know what? He gets things done. But what they really want is that challenger person. This is who we need to become starting today. Okay? Challenger salespeople produce at a much higher rate. Challenger sales organizations produce at a much higher rate. Okay? This is who they buy from. If you look at the upper right-hand corner there, these are the things that buyers are looking for. They help me navigate alternatives. They provide ongoing advice and consultation. They offer unique, valuable perspectives on the market. That's what you need to bring to your customer, not how well you can demonstrate Acumatica or any technology solution. It's the outcome and the value and the initiatives that they can get from working with your organization. Do we ever ask these questions? If you could change 3 things in your business, what would they be? What's the biggest opportunity, the biggest challenge? What are the 5 most important results you need to see coming out of this project? And then you know what? Ask them to force rank those challenges. And when your customer or your prospect starts arguing amongst themselves, no, Kent, that needs to be number 1. No, Bob, that needs to be number 1. When they're talking amongst themselves and really distilling down to what the essence of this project is, you are winning. You are completely different than everybody else. And then how will you measure the success of this project? Features versus benefits. Guys, I know we're going through a lot of information. We're going through it really fast today. I'm welcome to have any future conversation or continuing conversation, but we all get this, that we need to sell the benefit of what we're doing, but we got too many people that are doing features and benefits. So here's an example in an e-commerce site. We sell this all the time. Transactions are encrypted at the point of purchase and tokenized data once it reaches the server. Nobody cares. What they care about is the benefit, that you know what, if I do this, they're going to be 85% more likely to purchase as compared to a non-secure site. This is what they buy and why they buy. So why aren't we selling that? Because we're so comfortable in feature, function. We don't talk about the outcome or the benefit measured economically that they're going to receive. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there with me. So every deal must have the guaranteed grid of 5. Okay? This is a 3x3 grid and box that you need to have for every single deal that you're working on. And if you can't fill in 5 of those people and understand the economic impact of those 5 people, I'm going to suggest politely, you do not truly understand where your customer is going, what they need, why they're doing it, and you're going to end up selling on price. I challenge everyone out there to go right to every deal they're working on today, create this 3x3 grid and fill in the name. And you know what? If you have 1 name, you don't have a deal. If you have 2 names, you don't have a deal. Get to 5. All right. Longer conversation, but you have earned the right to call your happy customers. We call this like-minded marketing, and it's a great conversation I'm open to having with any future partner or existing partner. How can I find these prospects? How can I develop the message, the economic impact? We call this like-minded marketing. You're going to call your happy customer. You've earned the right to call these people. You're going to validate that they're happy. You're going to economically quantify their happiness, which is going to produce your message that you're going to then take to the associations and organizations they belong to, which is going to help you produce the outcomes that are going to become the organizational message that you are. Does this I hope I got some head nodding out there, not eye rolling, because what you're going to do is you're going to say Schmuckatelli and Sons. That's my ipso facto defaulto made up partner name and customer name. Schmuckatelli and Sons is inventory experts, and we produce savings at the inventory level here, profitability savings here, excess no move inventory reductions here. That's the economic impact you will be able to develop by talking to your customers. Here's an example that took me 10 minutes. I went out and looked for this association and found out their most popular course was an inventory management course. So my question to you is, do you even know how companies manage inventory? Do you know what average days to sell inventory is, what an inventory turnover is, what fulfillment rates are? You have to become buzzword compliant in becoming an inventory expert. But then once you talk to your customer, what if you could go out there and get this sort of economic impact from the customers you've already done business with? Hey, I was able to move your inventory turns from 4 to 5, which allowed me to reduce my on-hand inventory by $200,000, which saved me over $1 million. If you can go to market with this kind of economic impact, you are no longer an Acumatica reseller. You are now an inventory expert that produces this economic impact. What are some other things we can do differently, Ken? Immediately change your vocabulary. Stop selling ERP software for the mid-market or SMB or SME space. I know that, guys, we've been doing it for 20-something years. It's hard, but we sell business management software. Nobody wants to be called a mid-market customer or a small business, okay? Stop doing implementations. Why do I say that? This is always a big bugaboo when I talk to partners. Ken, of course we have to do implementations. No, you don't. Because in implementation, we've trained our customers to think it has a beginning and an end. It has a statement of work. It has X many hours. It has X many rates. You are now, unlimited data usage costs me this much a month. Well, Ken says he can do this for 150 hours at $150 an hour. Partner Schmuckatelli and Sons can do it for $125 an hour for 100 hours. Who's better? Well, I've got an implementation methodology. Well, they have an implementation methodology too. I have satisfied customers. They have satisfied customers too. We have to start deploying, activating, or enabling software. Little things, guys, but you want to present yourselves differently in the market you serve. Never, ever, 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 ever mention pain points. Why? Because everybody else does. Okay? Focus on delivering measurable and meaningful outcomes. Tell me about your business. What keeps you up at night? What are your pain points? If you do that, you are like every other partner on the planet. Stop doing it. Okay? How are you going to measure the success of this project? Okay. So we finished. And this is the objective that we had today. To respectfully, productively, and passionately, enthusiastically, maybe overly passionately or over enthusiastically, talk about some things that are going on in our marketplace and give you some things to think about, okay, on how to become a successful VAR in the 21st century. You know, I do believe that if you're going to be successful as a true value-added reseller, you're going to have to become an Acumatica partner. And I do believe you're going to have to consider changing everything that you're doing today. Not 180 degrees out of phase tomorrow, but you're going to have to start changing. It is going to be a transition, but we're going to have to start that transition, and we're going to have to move that transition along faster than we ever thought possible. Okay. Thank you all very much for your time today, for listening to my enthusiastic presentation. Like I said, this is what you get. If you're brave enough to have another conversation, this is what you're going to get. If you're brave enough, you know, or to continue your conversation on becoming an Acumatica partner, please don't hesitate to reach out to Mark Roothouse, mark.roothouse@acumatica.com, and you can see Mark's phone number here, 425-296-4303. Again, thanks a lot, Adrian. Thanks a lot to everybody. Be smart, be safe, and be well. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Hello, Kent. Thank you so much. Wonderful presentation, as always. I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll here, and if you can hang around just to answer this poll, that would be awesome. And we do have a couple questions, Kent, but I'd like to kind of roll them all into one.
Okay.
So if you could think of an Acumatica partner who has been successful, do you have a specific example that you can think of without naming them what they did to roll out their Acumatica practice and kind of walking in their shoes? Did
Sure.
they have existing customers on another ERP? How did they find their opportunities? You did a great job of taking us through successful sales processes once they have an opportunity, but how did they go about finding their opportunities, and how did they take those opportunities through the sales process that you just featured? Do you have anybody in mind? You don't need to name them, but maybe
No, look,
use an example.
I have a lot of partners in mind. And I will tell you that the most successful Acumatica partners have done a couple of things. The first thing, the most successful new partners have targeted their install base, and they've targeted not their worst customers, okay? They've targeted their best customers, the ones that they want to do business with forever. They have felt that deep personal responsibility to introduce the next generation of technology to them. And they've gone to them and they've said, hey, look, I really think you need to take a look at this. Okay. And they've done it with a very focused Acumatica team. When I say focused, I don't mean 100% committed or dedicated to Acumatica, but people that have spent the time. I mentioned earlier, there is no fee to becoming an Acumatica partner, but they've spent the time getting certified, getting their badges, going through the training, working with the enablement team, and they very quickly, engaged with their first 1, 2, and 3 Acumatica customers. So that's the first thing. The second thing that they've done is they have gone back to their existing customer base. They've mined that customer base. I tell my partners all the time, you're sitting on a gold mine, guys. You've earned the right to go back to your customers and say, hey, look, when we first met 5 years ago, you needed to accomplish this, this, and this. How did we do? And what results did we put out? And that becomes their go-to-market message and strategy. And then they go outside of their customer base with that message. Join us for an Acumatica webinar where you can learn how Schmuckatelli & Sons customers save this much money in inventory, produce this much improved margin in distribution. That gets a great audience, leads to a pipeline and opportunities. And you know what? I had a partner that came on board that within their first 90 days, again, it's an exception, in their first 90 days sold an Acumatica opportunity at list price. And it was like $33,000. So it can happen. Did I answer the question, I hope?
Yeah, I think that you did a great job answering the question. So if an Acumatica partner, for whatever reason, doesn't have a robust customer base, can you think of other examples other than just mining your customer base, how they might go about generating opportunity in thinking of walking in the shoes of a successful Acumatica partner?
Yeah, I think, I go back to the slide. You remember the lady pulling her hair out and getting bombarded?
Right.
There's a whole community. Guys, if you're not marketing to your install base of Sage 100, Microsoft Great Plains, Microsoft Navision, Microsoft Solomon, Microsoft Exapta, if you're not marketing to those customers, that's a happy hunting ground to get new customers, because they're all faced with the same challenge. How do I get to the cloud? I have a distributed workforce. I have other cloud applications. Go after them. Your message can be, are you a disgruntled Microsoft customer? We can help.
So finding those customers that might be on those legacy products and really understanding how to make them see the value of considering Acumatica as an option for the future.
Sure. And then again, we didn't get a chance to cover it too much today, but Acumatica goes to market with some specific industry editions. We have a manufacturing edition, we have a field service edition, we have a commerce edition. I tell partners all the time, and when you're driving around your town and you see a truck on the road that's out on a service call, that's a field service prospect. Why aren't you going back to your office and going to their website, calling that phone number and seeing what they use to manage their technicians, to manage their routes, to manage their rolling inventory, to manage their service calls, to account for all that stuff? It's simple stuff, guys, but sometimes I think we overthink this.
So what I'm hearing from your experience is finding the industry that these end users are in, and then also knowing their ERP system, their current ERP system, and having those two pieces of information to be able to get them, aware of your solution and take them through the lead development and then buyer's journey, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said. You said it
Perfect.
better than me, Adrian.
Well, you have such a great presentation here on how to get them to, get over to a partner side because they are winning the business. But how do you find the business to begin with if you don't have that customer base and let's say you're just starting from scratch because maybe you sold all your customers to another Sage partner, for instance, and you can't market to them. So, starting from zero, really marketing, it's important to A, focus on an industry, and B, know what the ERP they're running so that you can talk to them and compel them to open your emails or take your phone calls.
Sure. And again, I think it goes back to, and hopefully this came through loud and clear today. It's the outcomes. What sort of outcome do you have a track record of producing? Partner with me and I can improve your bottom line through aggressive inventory management. Partner with me and I can help you show that I can produce these kinds of results on an integrated, commerce and ERP solution. I mean, you got to start with the results and the outcomes. People will find you. That's what they're searching for. When they go out, and start searching for something, trust me, they're looking for outcomes. Be the outcome provider that they want to find.
And we are 7 minutes over, and I just want to thank the audience that has stuck with us. Everybody has stuck with us, so thank you so much for joining us today and spending your time with us. We know it's hard to come by. I do have another question from Thomas. Yes, we did record this presentation, and the follow-up email from me, Adrian at ERP VAR, will have the recorded presentation, a link to it, a YouTube link. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/ERP VAR. And I encourage you to go see that. We have a ton of Acumatica related presentations out there. And that email will come also with Kent's presentation and the contact information for Mark Roothouse, the partner recruiter. And we hope to see you guys on a future webinar. And thank you so much. Kent, did you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, we're still giving out the free Tylenol packet for the headaches, right? that everybody got listening to me yell at them for 67 minutes. No, I just wanted to say, to the Acumatica partners that joined today and knew what you were in for, thank you for your continued commitment, to your Acumatica practice. And for those that are new to Acumatica or considering Acumatica, we thank you for your interest. Because we go to market exclusively through partners, anytime a talented and successful organization raises their hand and says we're interested in Acumatica, we're greatly appreciative of the opportunity to continue our conversations and see if it's the right thing for us to do together. So thank you, Adrian. Everybody have a great rest of the day.
All right, you too. Thank you so much, Kent. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye now.